Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Baqee TV's Get to Know Your Scholar series. Today we have a special guest with us who is the founder and the resident alim, Sheikh Husham Al Husainy of Karbala Islamic Center in Dearborn, Michigan, which was founded in 1995. Please welcome him. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.
Sheikh Husham Al Husainy, you are no stranger. You are no stranger to Chicago. Welcome back. It's been a few years. How does it feel to be back?
Younger, a little bit. No, alhamdulillah, I'm so happy to revisiting Chicago. I have a lot of good time, good friends. I used to know the community when they used to be very much younger. I used to remember you when you were a dentist, a student. Now, mashallah, a dentist and a media man. So I'm proud of Chicago and your project and the community, and I want to wish you a happy Eid al-Ghadir.
Shukran, shukran. Khair Mubarak to you as well. This series is about getting to know the scholars. So please explain to the audience, where were you born, and a little bit about your childhood.
Well, that's been a long time. I hope I remember. Actually, alhamdulillah, I was born in Qadimain, in Al-Qadimiyya, in Baghdad, Iraq. You don't need to know the date, right? You don't need.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Just a few years ago.
Yeah, a few years ago. Actually, and alhamdulillah, then I came to United States of America to study. Well, I was studying Islam and Arabic literature, but then because of the oppression of Saddam, I have to leave the country. So I came to study aeronautical engineer. Excuse me, and I did make it. Alhamdulillah, graduated. I have to have something to make living. You know, right. It's hard to make living in Saddam time as a sheikh. So, alhamdulillah, I came back to Iraq. I came to US in the 70s. Then I went back. I finished. I did work in Baghdad airport as an aircraft engineer for a couple of years. Then I was under arrest, so I had to flee the country before I get caught. I have lost maybe 10 friends killed by Saddam. My real friends. Anyway, so I made it, thanks God. And by 80, so by the 80, I got here and I start to lead the opposition against the dictatorship of Saddam. And alhamdulillah, after that, in the 90s, I believe, no, actually in the beginning of the 2000, we got rid of him. So spending about 20, 30 years of opposition. Right. There's a little nice story. If that time, I'm going to say it quickly.
Sure.
A couple of years ago, the Lebanese community asked me to go with them to go to New York in front of United Nations for a demonstration for the kidnapping of Sayyid Musa al-Sadr. I told them, after Saddam is gone, I quit. So they insist there is no clergyman, only one priest. So I went with them, and the chief police of Manhattan, he was passing through, he looked at me and the demonstration having the microphone in front of, he told the driver stop, and he came, he said, Imam, aren't you the same one who used to come 25 years ago? I told him, yes, sir, that's me. He said, didn't you say if Saddam will go, you will quit coming? I said, yeah. He said, didn't he go? I said, yeah. He said, now what? I said, well, Sayyid Musa Sadr. He said, come on, man, what are you doing? Give us a hard time. Stop it, please. So, alhamdulillah, and here we are. Right. The Iraqis start coming because of the uprising in the 1992. Right. And we had to open Karbala Center by the 1995. Right. Until now, thanks God, and we went through 2 periods opposing Saddam and enjoying, the liberation of Iraq, which we're still working on the fully liberation. We still need to work more harder.
Yes.
And it's a new experience. They are working hard on it. Yeah. And we're helping them, and hopefully one day Iraq will be free, liberated completely, and we can go to visit Arba'in again and again and again.
Inshallah, inshallah. And what inspirations did you have in your childhood or your adolescence that brought you towards the scholarly route?
Yeah, well, actually, I was born in a scholarly family.
Okay.
My family, I have a lot of scholars in it. Beside, my house was a second house near the Imamain and Kadhimain, salamullah.
MashaAllah.
So I was born in a very religious area. Beside, even when I went to Baghdad University, I like the Arabic poetry. So I was a poet of one of the poets of Baghdad University.
Uh-huh.
Then, when I came here to US to I quit a couple of years in Baghdad University, started all over just to get get out of Iraq, to start aeronautical engineer. And when I came in here, I start missing my land, my holy land, the shrine, the imams, and the spiritual atmosphere. And I like conversation, so I start talking and speaking in different churches, and so something pushing me toward the roots of Islam. I have to learn more about it because I have to bring Islam to a good image to the West. They don't know about us, and the media is a biased media, so I have to bring it in a positive image. Besides fighting Saddam for 25 years, the only way is to fight the oppression is through Islam, through Quran,
Right.
through the history of and position of Ahlul Bayt, peace of God be upon. So, and again, I think it's a guidance of God and neighborhood of Imams, Al-Kadhimain alayhim salam.
Right.
And I can't leave that line. It's in me, and any other road I try it, I get lost in it. So that's the only way I can enjoy it in this life.
Well, beautifully said, Qibla. You're actually known for your eloquency and charisma around the world, mashallah.
Sure.
And we're actually blessed to have ulama like you visiting us
Allah
in
bless.
Chicago here and around the world. You are in Al-Baqee Studios. So let's shift the focus to Jannat al-Baqiyah. This year, unfortunately, is the 100th year anniversary since the destruction in Hijri years. And I say unfortunately because it's a tragedy that it's 100 years and nothing has been done. Do you have any special remarks for our audience on the reconstruction and the rebuilding cause for Jannat al-Baqiyah?
In Quran, there is a verses just came in my mind. It says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, يريدون أن يطفئوا نور الله بأفواههم ويأبى الله إلا أن يتم نوره ولو كره الكافرون ولو كره المشركون. The enemy of God and the hypocrisy and the ignorance and the jahiliyyah, they try to hide the light of Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. And no matter what they do, they are afraid of the light, and they are used to the darkness. And Allah and His Messenger and His family try to get him. يخرجهم الله والذين آمنوا يخرجهم من الظلمات إلى النور. But they got used to the darkness. So here you go, they demolish the shrines of the Al-Baqee, where the Imam Al-Hasan, peace of God be upon him, the second Imam is buried there, and Imam Zayn al-Abidin, the third Imam, actually the fourth Imam, and Al-Baqir, fifth, and Al-Sadiq, the sixth Imam, they all buried there, and al-Banin, a lot of Ahlul Bayt are buried there, and they are afraid of let their light comes to the world, because the more people know about Ahlul Bayt, the more shame bring to their enemy. Bani Umayyah, Bani Sufyan, Bani Marjana. Anyway, so they are afraid of the light. They are afraid of the truth. They are afraid of the reality. They are afraid of Islam. But even if they try to hide it for hundreds of years, it's coming out. ونريد أن نمن على الذين استضعفوا في الأرض ونجعلهم أئمة ونجعلهم الوارثين. So it's coming, and thanks God they cannot hide it. The whole world now, the media, here we are in Chicago, in a studio in Chicago, and Al-Baqee TV, and we are focusing the light on the Immat al-Baqee. They cannot hide it. It's coming from everywhere. Sooner or later, they're going to surrender to the light and reality of Wilayat Muhammad wa al Muhammad.
Inshallah. Can you give us maybe examples or suggestions that the Ummah can do for this cause? What are valid, practical measures that we could do, whether it be by spreading awareness or doing actual change?
Yes, the change is coming, and as you see, Alhamdulillah, the last 30 years we have the Islamic Republic. They are now the light going to Lebanon, to Syria, to Iraq, to Yemen, to all over, and they cannot resist that resistance of reality, of the truth, of the righteousness. So the world, and we're going to talk about it inshallah in the Husaini tonight, the world is coming toward that end, and God designed the universe and the world to reach that end. Which end? The end of justice, the collaboration and equalization of the truth against the oppression. So it's coming, and here you see superpower falling down, a new superpower coming up. The world is going to change, and excuse me, the promise of God never change. The promise of God, it's happening. So we know in the willingness of God it's coming, but in the reality, in the ground, in the world, it's happening. People getting educated. People cannot be ignorant anymore about the martyrdom of Imam Hussein, the martyrdom of Immat al-Baqee. So the pressure is coming, the spiritual tsunami is coming, and the liberation of the oppression is coming, no matter ولو كره الكافرون ولو كره المشركون.
Spiritual tsunami, I love that.
Yes, inshallah. Inshallah.
Every episode that we have, we end the episode with a rapid fire. So this is going to be where I say one word and you say just one word back on the first thought that comes to your mind. So a little pressure.
Yeah, you told me about the questions, but you didn't tell me about these 10 words. But let's go.
The first one is Ghadir.
Love.
Jannat al-Baqiyya.
You need one word?
Just one.
Yeah. Promise.
Jannat al-Baqiyya, promise. Okay, how about Iraq?
Freedom.
And Karbala?
Liberation.
Liberation, okay. Najaf?
Knowledge.
Knowledge, great, I love that. Dearborn?
Oh, history.
Mashhad?
Meeting.
Okay. And Arba'in?
Parade.
Sheikh, that actually reminds me, it's been almost 20 years since you started the Arba'in walk, the Arba'in march in Dearborn, Michigan. Can you let us know about your experience and what brought that idea?
It's a miracle. Actually, I used to go an Arba'in march in New York for the Urdu community and in Chicago. Then I stole the idea from you and I built it, plan it in Dearborn, because we have maybe three-quarter or million of people from Middle East.
MashaAllah.
And Alhamdulillah, it was a good step, and the community received it very well. And almost 10,000 people walk. And that parade, you don't feel you are in other than Karbala.
MashaAllah. Politics.
Tools.
And something a lot less serious is your favorite food.
تمن وقيمة. What do you call it in Urdu?
Something about meat.
Yeah, well, the قيمة and rice, the gravy of in Persian they call it, I think, خرمة سبزي.
Khurma sabzi. I love that.
And I feel like this is some psychological test. I need to study myself more. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
We are so blessed, like I mentioned. Thank you so much for visiting us. You have a very tight schedule over here, but you made the time to come and speak to us and propagate your message.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming.
And inshallah, last time I came in, you used to make interviews in the houses. Now you have a studio here. Inshallah, next visit we'll see you in Al Baqee TV.
Inshallah. Thank you so much.
God bless you.
And this was Sheikh Husham Al Husainy from Dearborn, Michigan. This is Zishan Badr from Baqee TV signing off.